The birthday continues. Day 6. Hello. So, I got one less friend today. I gained an acquaintance. I gained a business acquaintance, but I lost a friend. I had, realistically, I lost 2 friends. I'm headed to go see one now. I got some of my money. I got a few jobs accomplished. Let me get my headphones off because I'm probably talking super loud. Give me like 1 second. It's like super hot out here. The sun's really bright. All right. Yeah, so for anyone that doesn't know, I had I had some of my money come through and I got a couple of jobs completed. I got paid, right? So I got a couple of grand. And I honestly, when it comes to people, and this is going to be so mean, but I really don't care. When it comes to people that are I'm sorry, but I don't like people pleasers. I really don't. It's so rampant out here, people pleasing. And it's the most annoying thing in the world. Now, when people do it out of fear, that's one thing. It doesn't bother me. Because, I get it. I know what it's like to have somebody you're afraid of. And so you're, nice to them so they don't hurt you. But when people do it because they want something from you, I would rather, and this is God's honest truth, I would rather someone threaten my life to try and get something from me than give me a fake compliment to get something from me. Because at least when they threaten my life to get something out of me, they're being honest. They're not being fake. When I get a genuine compliment, it's nice. But when I have someone that's literally just hears that I got a whole bunch of money and all of a sudden they're nice to me, I can't stand it. And unfortunately today I did lose 2 friends because I started making money, started doing good. And now all of a sudden they have time to insult me. They have time to try and pressure me into buying them things. And it's weird too, because I really wasn't expecting it. But as soon as I got money, they're just super disrespectful and passive aggressively disrespectful to the point where they could be when people are oh, I don't know what I did. I don't understand what I did wrong or, what I said wrong. And admittedly, I've kind of just been waiting to get out of the situation so that I wouldn't have to deal with them anymore. Cause I realized as soon as I got that money that their entire attitude towards me changed. And I was kind of just waiting for them to say something that was legitimately insulting, that I could walk away from the situation without them trying to leverage anything against me. So I got away from the one and literally said, I'm all the stuff that you have me keeping here, you could just toss it. And we didn't get into a fight or anything. We just had a little bit of an argument. And I told her, I said, God's honest truth, I'm not even mad at you. I just, I don't feel, I'm not dealing with this, So I'm thankful for the help, but I get irritated when I help people with a whole lot of stuff that you don't really talk about, right? The social assistance that you give people that you never mention out loud. And then there's some scumbag that has to be try and leverage against you when you're doing stuff that is documentable. And they're well, I can make you look bad unless you keep doing it for me or you give me more. I'm listen, you can shut up, and I don't say this, but the reality is you're welcome for keeping you alive. you're welcome for helping you keep your apartment instead of getting kicked out because you're about to get kicked out your apartment. And, I think I drew the line at like creating expectations of me giving them money. That's when I was like, nah, I'm putting an end to this. So I kind of just minded my own business, did my own thing. I waited for their greed to set in because there was no avoiding it, unfortunately. And then waited for them to say the wrong thing. And then when I did, I was just like, all right, I'm going to head out. And so I did. Very unfortunate. And more than likely, I'm about to walk into another situation that's going to go the exact same way. And I'm totally fine with it. I got my own thing going on now. I like having them in my life, but, I'm not going to be pretending to be friends with someone that's just trying to leverage stuff against me. It's so annoying. It's so 80s. And if it were the 80s, I'd be having a lot more fun. But it's not. And I'm, not delusional. I'm paying attention to the fact that everything gets recorded and everything's documented and there's security cameras all over the place, And I take that into account in the decisions I make. And realistically, moving forward, as I'm starting to live a life that's more in front of the camera and a life where I'm, more out in the public, I have to shift my friendships to people that are people that spend more time in the public. It's disappointing to lose some of my friendships, but, there are people that will more than likely, make an attempt to leverage something against me and end up having to be schooled and eat their words, even at their level of experience and age. And I just don't need it, It's the extra drama I don't need. So I bow out respectfully, more quickly and more soon. Then I just move on, Like I got what I need. I'm doing what I got to do. And I gave her a chance too. I told her, I'm like, look, in my life, the actual personal life that I live, not this fake one, the one I'm giving up now, that I don't got to do it, that I don't got to be fake. I don't make plans with people. I don't set stuff up and call ahead and text ahead or make plans. I don't spend my time trying to get people to talk about their personal stuff, like what they're wearing, and I don't try to clock people. I don't spend my time playing cop, is essentially what I'm telling you. And as soon as I got my money, that's what my friends started doing. They started playing cops. They started playing, acting like cops. And I'm fine with the police. But if you're not a police officer, don't play cop, or that's a very easy way to get yourself, kicked out of my life. If your job isn't in law enforcement, don't cop me, because I don't have an interest in it. And it really makes me disgusted. I get disgusted with it really quickly. So where were you at this time? Or what kind of shoes were you wearing? Like who asked that? It's weird. Like, people don't realize how weird it is. And I'm not about it. Now, if a police officer asks me, that's fine. That's their job. It's not weird because it's what they're supposed to do. It's what they get paid to do. But if you aren't a paid police officer, don't question me. Don't interrogate me, because it's really fucking weird. Okay? So moving forward, the friends that started asking me questions and trying to interrogate me as soon as I started making money, they're not even suspicious about the money I'm making. They just want to figure out how to get an upper hand over my income and try to get my money. And they're already millionaires. So I'm just like, you know what? Enjoy your money. Enjoy your fake friends. Have a wonderful day. I'm going out to the street. And if you want to hang out later, then we can hang out later. You can meet me at this place on this day. I'm giving you a heads up that I wouldn't even give my real friends, because they know well enough just to meet there at that time on their own without being told about it. And the reason you're not, I didn't say this to them, but realistically, they're not in the in crowd because they have to always be asking those questions. And in reality, you either know or you don't know. And if you're not in the know and you don't know already, then you're not going to know. And people say, well, I have a question here. No, I'm telling you, the true culture doesn't work that way. You either know or you don't know. Either you walk in the door when it's open, whether you are invited or not, or you're not in. And there's nothing else to it. That's the risk you take. And people don't understand that. They're like, what are you talking about? Well, it's the risk you take. You make a personal choice. Somebody leaves that door open to go to a party. You are invited to the party. Anyone's invited. But you have to be smart enough to get into the party go have a good time, make some networks, network some and make some connections, and get out without people questioning it too hard or figuring out that it's your first time, And people were like, well, we don't live that way. Then don't. That's fine. Just don't expect to get an invite because you won't. It don't work that way out here. You show up, you have a good time, and if they like you enough, then they'll let you walk in the door the next time. And eventually you build those friendships, and that's it. And so I had somebody in my life who I just had to cut out of the closer part of my life because they were asking all these questions and, wanting to figure out how to use me for their own income and their own, like, how do I turn this into social attention for myself? How do I make money off of him? And, and it wasn't, at first when she first started inviting me over, it was nothing. And then I started making money, right? And then she started seeing some of my content, and all of a sudden it's that she, her interest changed from being a friend of mine to wanting some type of business situation from me, and then trying to mix the two and be like, well, no, we're friends. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but you might have some people in your life that aren't intelligent, but I am, and I don't have an interest. So, and I didn't say any of that, obviously, but that's how I felt. I'm talking to you guys about it because that's how I do it. I'm real with you. And the moment you come down on me, well, I'm raining the hellfire and I'm moving on. And that's it. That's what I was taught and raised to do. It's what I was trained to do. And that's exactly what I do. You come down on me once, well, you're not getting back up. And it doesn't have to be physically. I'm not a violent person in the civilian sector, but I am most definitely focused forward in every other way that is socially appropriate. So, that's it. It's, I'm done. And I said, well, if you want to meet up again, I said, the boundaries are set. That's it. If you want to meet up again, we can meet up in another place at another time. And that's it. And you could either be there or be square. And so I'll wait till that day. If she shows up at that place on that time, or at that place at that time, then I'll hang out with her. And if she doesn't, then that's fine. And I also informed her. I said, just so you know, now I'm back out here, right? So what do you call it? If I show up smelling like piss and shit and smelling like the street and the air in LA, it's because there are people that needed my help when I was out here. And if you want to be so judgmental as to make a comment about, my bodily situation, thinking it's funny, well, that's fine. I'll go hang out with people that give me respect, And that was that. And it was in reference to something something in the house, like that something in the house had a little BO on it. And I'm just like, that's fine. Where I go next and what I do, I'm doing whatever I want. And it's not your fault. It's not your problem. I told her, like, don't feel like any of this is your problem, your fault, because it's not. I'm making the personal decision to step out of this situation, and I'm not your problem. I'm going to be just fine. Don't be worried about me. And then last but not least is, I told her, I'm like, you're telling me a little bit about BO on the couch. I could go on the internet right now and buy you a whole new couch set. Right now, I could go online. I could take a picture of this couch. I can bring it up on Google and I could buy you a whole new one right now. And, she just doesn't understand the concept. She's stuck on the culture part of it, thinking about the culture instead of realizing that it's not all about that. And I just can't roll with people that are that way, Like when you're below the fold on a mental level, I just can't associate with you on a personal level. I can't. Maybe on a professional level, but not a personal one. And so I'm going to go see another person that's in my life who, unfortunately, he's the exact same way. And so we're going to establish a boundary. I'm going to establish a boundary with him today. But first, I'm going to go and I'm going to, equal out some situations he's got going on just because of some of the things him and I have in common. I'm going to go help him out a little bit. But then I'm going to wait for him to go too far. And then we'll, if he does, then I'll be done with him. And if he doesn't, then good. But that's how it is. And then last but not least is I got another friend who, he doesn't really expect anything from me. But it's also partially because he doesn't need anything from me. Like anything that he could get from me, he already has. So, sometimes that's a good thing, right? It's like people like being the friends that I have like being friends with me because I'm not greedy, I'm not annoying, I'm not I don't try to get stuff from people, right? And it makes it real easy to be friends. Then you got people that just aren't that way, and so thankfully I got one friend left. And now I got a whole bunch of business associates. As soon as I got paid, I got all these business associates because I can't keep the boundaries straight. But I still got one friend left. So that's, I'm happy about that. And that's fine for now. One friend is more than none. So I just, keep thanking God for what I do have and for who I do have. And, it's be careful what you pray for, be careful what you ask for, and be careful what you wish for, because you might get it. And I asked God for gold, God, and glory. He gave it to me. And I'm suffering the consequences that come with, no good deed going unpunished. And I'm comfortable with that, It's part of the job, comes with the territory. It's involved, included in the lifestyle. And most definitely will be a continued pattern in my future, too. No matter what I do, I'm still going to end up having to deal with people that I'll be friends with for a time, or I'll be close with for a time, and then I'll have to move on from. And then whenever I plateau, right, whenever my lifestyle peaks to a certain degree, like when I get my lifestyle where I want it to be, well, I'll probably peak and plateau a little bit at that level and just have slow growth from there. Then when I do get to that point, then whatever friends I have, hopefully I'll get to keep a little bit longer, But for now, I'm kind of meeting people. We're getting what we want out of each other, and then we're, moving on up and out into other spaces in society that we want to. So, I essentially what happened was I reached where I needed to get to. She reached where she needed to get to. I was ready to let go, and she wasn't. And I mean, that's, you guys know, something that is like that happened in the past. It had happened before with another person. So, it is what it is. And realistically, it's happened a whole lot with a whole lot of people in my life, so that's fine. And that's another thing, as I say, I said to her, I'm like, you don't realize, like what I told you guys earlier, just certain things that were going to go on with her today that I helped her avoid without her knowing about it, didn't tell her about it. Well, from here on in, I'm going to start telling people, like, hey, just so you know, this is happening, that's happening, this is the person that's doing it, you're about to get kicked out of your apartment. And then whenever I help them stop it from happening, maybe I'll get some credit, instead of having someone go off on me and then turn around and try to blame me for their problems, not realizing that although they're out of cash, they're not living on the street. And I help facilitate the possibility of them not being on the street while they're looking at me saying I'm the reason they're out of cash. I'm like, you spent $200 and you saved about 18 grand. But that's fine. You could be pissed at me for, taking your 200. And when I say taking, I mean receiving, and then asking about 5 different times if I owe them anything, And I got people in this broadcast right now with us, with the 200 people in here. I got people right now in here with us that could testify to the fact that I help them increase their lives. I help people get promotions. I help people find better housing situations. I help people come off the street. It's what I do. And I've learned that sometimes I have to take the credit. I was raised to pray in secret. I was raised to do the right thing without talking too much about it. But I've also learned that every now and again, it's important to let people know what you do. That way you can take some credit for it and people aren't coming down on you in times when they might not be in a good mood. So, I'm doing good. And I'm thankful for the opportunity to be doing good. I can't let people keep coming down on me about stuff, And I'm proud of myself for establishing that boundary. And I might regret it in a day or 2 or 3 when I'm super tired and, and also making sure that, this boundary that got established, just as I was finally exhausted. There could have been 1,000 different times that she could have decided to say the words that she knew would get me to leave, right? But she waited until I was starting to count on her and actually starting to, rely on her and start putting out my energy. And now I'm tired and I'm burnt out. And then she decides to say something thinking that I'm going to submit and take a knee to her, and then I got a buddy who I know is about to do the exact same thing because he did it last year and I refused to, I put my foot down and then we took some space, but I'm expecting it to happen here, but I'm hoping it doesn't. But like I said, I'm already coming in with the expectations. We'll see what happens. But I'm hoping that the experiences that we share such as the work that I've done with law enforcement in the past, and then also, you know, some of the similar backgrounds we share in reference to the military. I'm hoping that's enough for him to, you know, at least tighten up a little bit and stay focused instead of trying to take advantage. And I don't expect him to take advantage because he never has taken advantage of me. But like I said, just after this experience today, I'm kind of on edge and waiting for it, you know? And if he does, I'm not sweating it. I already have a contingency plan, and I'll be just fine. I got plenty of money, no worries about that. I got plenty of jobs coming up, no worries about that. But it doesn't change the fact that more than likely, I'm going to be spending the next few months smelling like absolute shit and piss and the street water, and it's going to be bad. But you know what? I'm still going to do what I got to do anyway. And hopefully I'll get the same amount of respect, if not more, than I did get last year, having been out here and being in a rough spot. You know, even when I was, and that's something I want to say for the city of LA and the people that live here, for how bad of a rap people here get, how bad of a rap we get. Guys, I could tell you, when I was down and out and things were like really rough, they were super respectful to me. They were kind. They went out of their way for me. They always gave me a chance. And they never, ever left me without food. I always ate. I never, without having to beg, without having to ask, without having to expect, without having to put myself in a situation where it even appears as though I needed food, I never went without eating. And so, you know, the city of LA is far more welcoming and open to people who are trying to get themselves in a good situation. It's different if you're coming here and you're looking for problems and looking for trouble. Be ready to leave. But if you are coming to LA and you're trying to start your own life, that is Los Angeles. Every single person, all the way from, you know, the inception of the city of Los Angeles, has been people who have migrated to start a new life. So, you know, people are decently understanding of people's need to start new. All right. Okay. Oh, I have a lot to catch up on. Give me a minute here. I'm about to shut down the broadcast in, say, 5 minutes, and then I should be back later on. I might not be, but I should be. Thank you guys for understanding how I took most of the day yesterday to myself. I really needed it. So at least I got a full day's rest. And you know, that's what I needed. Was just one day to let my body rest up. Yeah, I'm not sorry to tell you. I'm going to say, sucks to be you. Sucks to be wrong. I am not being funded by anybody who you might try to think I'm being funded by. I'm actually not being funded by anyone. I have the proper support from the government that everyone in a situation like mine has access to. And then I also have short-term contracts going on in my employment arena. And I am working on long-term gainful employment as we speak. Muted by the administrator. I didn't even realize that I left you as a moderator. I'm glad I did. Thank you. Thank you. And I also wanted to mention that, you know, for anybody that's trying to give credit to anybody who ain't deserving it, I don't have anybody giving me money. I ain't in that situation. Like I said, I'm working. I've just been working off the books. And so I'm putting it on the books and only working with people that I tell, hey, I may have to put this on the books. They say, oh, that's fine. It's all right. So I'm doing the work. I'm keeping my tabs, keeping my logs. And if I get to a point of income where I got to report it, I will. And realistically, I think what's going to end up happening is I'm not even going to have to report it because I'm going to end up getting a real job before I end up to the amount of money that it would take to report it. Oh, sorry, that's you. Welcome from Boston. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if anybody asked about Boston. I don't know. I didn't see that comment. If someone did. Oh, is this dead? Better not be dead. No, I'm good. I was going to say there's no way I puffed this thing 10,000 times yet. Excuse me. All right. Yeah, so that's the spiel. That's the story. That's what's going on. And I'll tell you what, I'm shaking the scammers. I'm shaking the scumbags. I'm doing pretty good. I'm very happy about it. You know, like, it's like I know when to get out. I'm not stupid. Sometimes it's smart to get out when you should. And if you don't, it ends up catching up with you. So for me personally, you know, with that situation, I knew it was already starting to go sideways. I was just really hoping that I wasn't dealing with people that would take it that far or behave that way. And unfortunately they did. And that's that. And then no longer than a couple of minutes later, I get a phone call from someone who's pretty much just trying to bait me into their program and not really offering me the help. Whose job who called me? Somebody called me whose job it wasn't. We're not going to go into the organization name because I don't want to cause any problems for anybody. But somebody went and gave me a phone call and it wasn't their job to call me at all. They had, I guess, heard about me or something. And so they tried to call me to get ahead of me to make it more difficult for me to get into a proper housing situation. And what do you call it? And so I turned them down and they offered to give me a phone number and they told me the phone number and they go, all right, can you repeat it back to me? Because I want to make sure you got it. I said, no, I'm in the middle of something. So, all right, well, this was for you. I said, well, thank you. Have a good day. Because realistically, they weren't calling for me. They wanted to make their numbers look good. They wanted to say that at least they made contact with somebody and then turn around and not offer me the assistance to begin with. What they were doing was trying to get me investigated. And so, unfortunately, I had to cut off that option. And then I had another person who had offered for me to come to them. And I couldn't even walk this morning because I was just so tired. My body hurt so bad I could barely walk. And so I couldn't go to them. And I had to cancel. And I'll tell you what, later on I realized those people were yanking my chain too. Because they told me this, they told me that. And then what they told me today and yesterday didn't line up with what they had told me previously. And so I'm like, okay, if that's how we're going to play it, then we'll play it that way. You know, you want to get loud, I'll match your energy. Not a problem. So now I'm just, I'm doing things my way. I said, you know, I'm the one with the money. I now have more money than any of the people that were trying to bait me in. I have more opportunity being presented to me than anybody that was trying to use my name to make themselves money, cheat me out of my resources, and figure out how to entrap me. So I'm doing just fine. I'm getting ahead, and all I have to do is maintain my focus. But I'm going to head out. I'll talk to you guys soon. Send me some messages. We're not going to connect until possibly later tonight or even tomorrow. So. Not all the way better, but I'm trying. Hello, how are you? Welcome to broadcast. Thank you for that $100. You got me out of a sticky situation very quickly. I appreciate you for that. Hello, how are you? My friend of mine ran out of gas, and he invited me to hang out with him for the day, get some stuff done. And he didn't want to be spending any money, so thanks to you, I was able to throw him $100, and that it got me way more than $100. So thank you. I'm doing pretty good. How are you? I'd be walking around with you, but I am so tired. I am like burnt out. I'm like walking with a limp. And I can't be walking like that. I look ridiculous. So I'm just sitting with these and relaxing for a little while. You guys know I'm normally up and about and I'm all excited and everything, and now I'm just like, it's so weird just sitting here. Adrenaline's not pumping. I'm not, going a mile a minute. It's like so quiet up here. You guys know I'm used to being like super loud. So do me a favor, if you start to hear me getting loud, just say something, tell me, be like, hey, you're shouting. And I'll try to quiet down. But if I get loud, I probably won't even realize it. But I'm used to being down on the boulevard where there's always a lot of noise. And up here it's so quiet. And my voice resonates and more than likely will echo. Happy birthday again. Thank you. It is birthday 6.2. 6th day, second broadcast. So I made it 6.2. I could have done 6.5. It was like 6.5, but who's counting? So I was having a conversation with one of the broadcasters earlier. I was hanging out at somebody's broadcast. And she's saying to me about how like a lot of the guys will broadcast and it's like super weird and uncomfortable. I was like, it can't be that bad, right? So like most of the people that live stream on this app are female. And so, it's like literally 90-10. Like 90% female, 10% male. So I come online and I'm like, all right, there's no way that it's that bad. And I mostly don't click on men to watch the broadcast. I follow maybe 1 or 2 guys or 3 guys, right? And it's because they're like playing an instrument or they got a really interesting life, right? It's not just that they're, outrageously attractive. So I go and doing good. Awesome. And so I stop in a couple of guys' broadcasts. Go on the first one. Oh, there's a boner. I go on the second one. Oh, he's really creepy. Go on the third one. Oh, he's picking his nose, like right on broadcast. And I'd say after about the 7th or 8th one, I gave up. And she was right. She was right. This app has a lot of weirdos on it, but if you're selective and you know how to search, you can find some decent people. So I guess what I'm saying is I feel very blessed to be one of the few people that exists on this platform and, can be male and also get featured and not just be somebody that somebody found on accident after scrolling looking for someone for hours. So thank you for making me feel more important than I am. The blessings of, a technological facade. He goes, hello, sir. Do you mind showing us your crack pipe collection? I said that one out loud because I just want anyone within this environment hearing my voice resonating to hear that comment because that was a fantastically hilarious comment. I'll tell you what, if I didn't have such a good sense of humor, probably would have insulted me. I don't do any drugs. So like I can't really help you on that one. I got you in every other way, but I'm sorry, I just don't have I don't have anything that I could entice you with in the
narcotics department. Not really my thing. Respect. To each their own. I appreciate the your viewpoint. I agree. I share your viewpoint. It's just out here, you kind of get along with everybody. I get to. Most people don't live that way, but this is a very rare environment where you actually could get along with everybody. And so I choose to, because you can't really do it anywhere else. And I just will figure, what's my life going to come of if I do stay open to every type of person in at least some way, right? And like, you got 6 degrees of separation, and I'm very careful about how and when I separate and who I separate and the way I separate them from me. I'm not too keen on bringing people closer. They're pretty good at doing that on their own. Good for you. Keep that attitude. Thank you. No, I've officially weaned myself off cigarettes. I no longer desire cigarettes. They gross me out. They smell terrible. I'm very proud of myself. I just mentioned this word cigarettes and got a violation. That's okay. No big deal. But this thing, I'll tell you what, oh my gosh. I get all the nicotine, none of the smoke or the chemicals, none of the fiberglass, and none of the lung cancer. So, very happy about it. Plus, this is, what is it, day 6, right? We're on day 6. Oh, what did I put up, 5.2? I think it's day 6. I did that wrong then. Darn it. Oh, well. I think, yeah, it's day 6. And I put, I bought this like a week ago. Still works. Pack of cigarettes lasts me like 3-4 hours. This thing's lasted me almost a week. And it costs $4 more. And I know it's not the popular one. The guy in the store tried to show me the popular one. And I didn't have the money for it at that point in time. I didn't have the cash on me, so I didn't feel like buying it. But there's like a really fancy one that I guess everybody buys. And I've seen a lot of them on broadcast and in real life. So I'll get one of those next time, so you guys are like, yay, he's culturally relevant. I mean, I'm mostly culturally relevant. I'm just catching up with some stuff, So, no sweat. Geek bars, that's it. Geek bars. Everybody has a geek bar. And I don't know why they're so popular, what the big deal is, but I'll get one next time. I like this thing because it's small and it fits right in my pocket. And that thing is like twice the size. But maybe it's like refillable or something. I'll have to learn more about it. It's literally the first vape I've ever bought in my entire life. So I don't know. And I'm going to be quitting probably in the next month or two. You have the Pulse X. Okay. Speaking of, I am back out here. I'm so excited about that. Can't wait to smell like piss and shit and, city sewer water. It's going to be fantastic. But the situation I was in did not pan out due to extenuating circumstances having to do with unsavory individuals desiring to have more to do with my personal life than was their business. And considering I got what I needed out of the situation, I figured it was appropriate and, at least ethically efficable to step away from said situation. And so now I'm going to be out here and I'm going to be just fine. And it's also going to kick the butts into gear of some of the people that were formerly right on my behind about getting into a place that they were, doing the proper research and making sure that I could get in somewhere real quick. But then they found out I was hanging out with a friend and getting to spend some nights at her house. But now that that's over, they should find somewhere for me pretty quick. Because, literally within an hour of me leaving her house, I guess one of the guys caught wind of it and gave me a phone call. Because, he wasn't calling me. And then all of a sudden he calls me less than an hour after leaving her house. So they should be working on that. And see, what's nice is, I'll tell you something about LA County. They have this initiative going on, right? They have this initiative going on where they have to get people off the street. And so they'll be like calling you or expecting you to call them, and they'll be saying, oh, well, you got to call us. You got to do this. You got to do that. Do you got the number to make sure that you do actually reach out to us? No, you don't. You don't have to. If you just stay put and relax, they have to, especially if you have an open case, reach out to you. And the guy on the phone says to me, he says, well, if you don't work it out with us and reach out to us within 2 months, then they're going to close your case and they're going to shut it down and cut off your ability to get into the program. Well, if they find out about that, if his authorities find out about it, they're going to end up, penalizing him over it. So realistically, he's just trying to get me to do his job. And I'm like, I'm good, bro. Not only am I in the middle of something, but you're only calling me because you're trying to keep your quota up. And you're also like trying to cop me at the same time and ask me a million questions and sit there and listen to all my information and then, pass it off to somebody else as if it's your duty or your job. And it's neither. So for me, I don't really mind. I just sit back, do what I do, and then I let what's supposed to come to me. And realistically, I have to have somewhere to stay by the end of, really by November. I would say if they don't have me in somewhere by the beginning of November, it's really going to affect things more than just for me. So more than likely, they will have me properly housed by November 1st. If not, I'd say about December, probably early December at the latest, they will have me into a place. Either way. So, thanks for the follow. Why do people do that? I thought I would look cool. I'm like, all right, I'm going to suck in the vapor, and then I'm going to let it come out my nose. Well, I sucked in all the vapor, and then I let it out my nose, and it's like cold as ice. I don't like that. Why do people do that? Why the heck does anybody do that? That's so uncomfortable. That is not an enjoyable experience, and it doesn't even look that cool. It's not even like worth doing. I see people do it all the time. I'm like, I'm going to look like a bull. I'm going to look cool. That was one of the dumbest things I think I've ever tried to do. I've done some pretty dumb things, but that was like, just not worth it. That was really not worth it. Ugh. All right. So what's up, Buttercup? What are you doing? What are you up to? How are you keeping yourself occupied? This person is in my contact list and in my WhatsApp. I recognize the photo. I did not know I had your phone number. I don't even know who that is. Go figure. But thanks for the tips. I appreciate you. I've been having some fun with what you've been telling me about. It's been good. I had a nice, fun, long weekend last weekend. I wasn't bored for a minute. Even more excited for this weekend because now people know my name and they're kind of hoping I come back. I somebody that did. They were like, "You're coming back, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll be back." So what are you doing? What's going on? We got 240 people in here. I'm just sitting here. I'll walk down the boulevard and I'll get, we'll have 180 people. Okay, so we'll have way more than we got now. But still, I'm actually really impressed at the amount of people that are in the broadcast for just sitting here. But what are you doing? What, talk to me. Tell me what you have going on. Because I don't know what to talk to you about. I'm going to start talking to my Russians. If my Americans, my English speakers don't start talking to me, I'm going to start. My Russians are like really dedicated and hard on with it. They're like, we got an American boy in our pack. I'm all about it. I'm telling you, they're trying to speak English and everything. It's so adorable. Love it. Privet, Kaktila. I got to learn how to say welcome to the broadcast in Russian. I'll go into one of the Russians' broadcasts after I follow them, and I'll have one of their English-speaking friends tell them who I am, right? I step into the broadcast and they're dancing, they're jumping around, they're getting all red and excited and hot and bothered. It's a lot of fun. It is. They're like, this is gonna be my American boy. I'm gonna swoon him and he's gonna bring me to America. And I'm like, here we go. It's time to strap in. And so I do. For a while. I can't even get the smirk off my face. I can't, not even if I wanted to. I'm trying. And then I got some Americans who are just ungrateful for my presence. They're not appreciative of my presence as much as they should be. And they'll be screenshotting my comments even when they like what I'm saying, and they'll be just all types of stuff. And I'm like, come on. Like, like, we live in modern America, right? But it's just, nowadays, it's like everything is some sort of I just wish people would chill out and enjoy one another's company. I really do. But I'm really good at that. Most people are just like so socially engineered to freaking, see, there it is, here to come. Socially engineered to constantly play cop. And it's the most annoying thing in the world. I said this earlier, like, if you aren't a cop, like, can we just not? Because it's so irritating. It really, really is. I'm not even going to talk about it anymore because it practically makes me sick. It bothers me so much. But people be complaining, oh, they're taking our privacy. They're doing it. Well, no, duh, because you guys are constantly invading one another's privacy and constantly selling each other out. Stop selling each other out. That's step one. I mean, dude, I am, for all intents and purposes, classified. Yeah, I think they're actually, oh, it ain't me they're looking for. Okay. Well, he ain't here. For all intents and purposes, no, he's actually not here. For all intents and purposes, I am a street kid. For all intents and purposes, at this point in time, I am a street person. Not really, but like technically, right? And I am being invited to more places and things going on within the higher realms of society and in the community than most people who are like in those communities. And I solely contribute that to my don't give a fucks because I'm full of them, and my silence because I am essentially built on silence. Try it sometime, see where it gets you. See, the reason people talk is because they get scared. See, like me, like I'll check. I always like to know what's going on around me. That's not fear. That's preparedness. There's a difference. I open my eyes and look what's going on before I get scared to make sure that I don't have a reason to fear. Most people start selling each other out when they get scared. It's like their go-to. But it's like, how loyal are you to somebody if you start selling them out? For any reason. I don't care if it's because you're upset. I don't care if it's because you're scared. Like, at what point do you dissociate? Oh, I'm sorry. Well, no, it is dissociation, yeah. There's a difference between disassociation and dissociation, right? So someone who is capable of interdependent relationships and is a healthy person, they will disassociate. So they'll be like, all right, you're you, I'm me, we're not associated. I just did that with somebody today. I essentially told them, I'm like, I am now going to step you into one of my cover stories, and you can exist in this space in my life now. You can be a part of my past, but you will never be a part of my present or my future because you have crossed certain boundaries I'm not comfortable with, and I'm not opening that door again. And then I have people who are like kind of in and out of my past and my future. I got some people that are in my future. And that's a skill that a lot of people don't know how to do. But I will tell you that requires silence. That requires an ability to remain discretionary. I have people of really high stature who are now living in an environment and an atmosphere that is essentially, in some respects and some aspects, produced by me, which is really cool because I was offered to move into those environments, but I said, you know what, I'm going to dial it back a little bit and learn some more. And with what I learned, I was able to help to produce some of the elements of the environments that those people live in. And thus, they are in part living in the essence and spirit of some of my ideals and my values and statutes within my life. And so whenever I step into those environments, I'm much more likely to be able to just go to bed with them real quick, have some fun, and then be friends with them or something, instead of having to make long-term commitments and relationships and make contracts over marriages and all that wild stuff that I don't have any interest in having to do. So silence is golden, duct tape is silver, and it's made for Band-Aids, not for people's mouths. I was raised on a farm, and we use duct tape for a Band-Aid. If you cut your leg open, you put a piece of duct tape over it, and before the end of the day, you don't need stitches. But that's just me. People say, it's crazy. That's not possible. Nah, it's possible. It just depends on how, efficient your body is, and I got a pretty efficient body. And I stay moving, I stay active, I don't stress, and I guess that's what I'm trying to tell you in a roundabout way is you do damage to your body when you stress out, and the less you stress, the better off you are. And planning ahead is part of staying non-stressed, and not worrying about whether you said something right. When you have people that are coming down on you for your grammar, if they're coming at you for your grammar, it means they don't really have anything else they could come at you for. So don't let it bother you. Say what you got to say when you got to say it. Don't worry about if you should or shouldn't say it. If you feel like you got to say it, just say it. Don't worry about if you're saying it right, you're saying it wrong. There's all these different rules people try to make for stuff, but the reality is, at the end of the day, you're going to have days and you're going to have times where you're not going to do your best. When your best isn't going to be what you like your best to look like, and that's fine. That's going to happen. Just live with it and move on. And if you got to put it to rest and make it something that gets less attention, then you do that. But if it's not a big deal to you, then just move forward and deal with more people who have forgiveness and understand the concepts of compassion and empathy, and don't consider themselves to be better than you when they maintain attitudes of sympathy or, charity, as long as someone doesn't think themselves better than you, you're usually good. You're usually in the clear with them. See, like that, right there. I didn't even read that comment yet, but somebody says, follow me, I followed you too. No. See, I didn't follow you. But you're welcome to follow me. And for the people that want to play games on Bigo, I could tell you that I'm pretty good at it in real life. So if you take it to the virtual realm where everything is documented, I'm going to get you that much more easily. I play in the dark when I have to play in the dark, but I don't have to. I work in the light. I work during the day. I play at night, like an atypical traditional person. So for people that'll come at me and they're trying to sideline me or play games that way, trust me when I tell you, I got no issues just if you're going to play bully, I'm going to grab you by the hair or by the collar. I'm going to pull you right out in the middle of everything and be like, you good now? Are you done? And then I'm going to move on. Because nobody wants that around them. Nobody wants people like that around them. I can't tell you how many bullies I've chased off. I'm not about it. But if you're not actually a bully and you're just somebody that's going through something or whatever you got going on, then that's a different story, Sometimes you get somebody that's been a part of the party and they've been enjoying themselves, and then people start picking on them. And then they turn around and get defensive, and they just need a little reminder that they're not alone and that there's someone willing to stick up for them. That happens from time to time too, Thanks for the follow. So that's the attitude I try to maintain, and it's unfortunate sometimes where in the communities that I'm supposed to be in right now, where I do have certain people that look down on me and believe themselves to be better than me because of their social brainwashing growing up, or just having egotistical, narcissistic tendencies due to the overwhelming amount of gold, God, and glory that they have. that is battling in an oppositional sense to their personality and their humility, that they're not necessarily being themselves. But I do have people that, are humble enough to be on that level with me. So like I got friends that know the Kardashians, but they don't talk about it. I know people. I don't talk about it. I don't really know anybody, or that's just in reference to some of the comments. I don't really associate with anybody on a personal level that like talks about who they know, right? So California, especially Hollywood and, the more posh areas in the state get such a bad rap. And the way that they talk about us on TV is just like that, where they're like, oh, well, you know this one and I know that one. And it's really not like that in the circles of influence that actually make decisions in the communities. Most of the people that make the decisions in these parts of the communities are like people that don't talk, and they don't look up at the helicopter as it comes by. You kind of just mind your own business and teach people by example how to and why they should mind their own business. Because you got to remember, there are some people who are designated in society. Yeah, that's me. I'm talking to the cops in the helicopter because they got a microphone in that helicopter. They're able to point down anywhere they want and start listening to people talking. And just on the chance of them pointing in this direction, that's what I have to say, right? But for me, it's like that's their job, so I don't get mad at them for it, but they're still people. So like every now and again, they need to be reminded that like when they go home, they're going home. And it could be very tempting in an environment like this where a lot of society and the finances are based around gossip in the media industry, that it's not always a good thing to be so tuned in, because you're going to take that home with you, and it's going to affect your personal life. And that's why I keep very clear boundaries between my personal life and my professional life. So like I'm out here right now, anybody that I talk to within 15 minutes of broadcasting or 15 minutes after broadcasting, just because of my mindset, is someone that I have already compartmentalized in my mind as someone to be involved potentially in my professional life, but never in my personal life, because of the need for those boundaries and because of how fragile the professional side of it is. It is very fragile. So like, for example, these friends that I made, right? And now I'm cutting it down to having, you guys know, like I literally lost 3/4 of my friends because I started making some money, and all of a sudden they're like wanting to be a part of it, and they just don't fit into the community because they talk to, and not that there's anything wrong with talking to the cops, but like, I mean, like intentionally going out of your way to try and set people up, intentionally going out of your way to try and create a problem for someone as you try to get them out of your way for whatever reason. People who are just like after your money or after the fame or after credibility for your accomplishments. Like I can't tell you how many people exist in my life right now who are trying to figure out how to take credit for my past accomplishments, right? And then on top of that, there are people in my current environment who desire to take credit for my past accomplishments who never existed in my past. And that is such a wild and outlandish concept to me. I am just not about it. I'm really just not about it, Do that. Well, thanks. Thank you. Yeah, and I'm not really trying to do anything over. Like I'm not trying to like go into the past and be like, oh, well, this is that way and this is this way. Like things are the way they are. I have, when it comes to the networks, I'll give you an example. So some people have thought, well, how do we set them up to get put in the news in a negative sense? Well, somebody reaches out to NBC and they find out that I spent the last few years making sure that I built connections. So pretty much, and I mean, guys, you guys know how I am. I'm a very prepared type of person. Well, when you get me one time in 2021, you get me one time, well, trust me, that's enough for me to spend the next 3.5 years spending every waking moment of my life to make sure that there is not one possible way for you to get the upper hand without me getting multiple times more leverage or resources or money out of the situation. So, you reach out to the network and find out that the network was already ready for your phone call. It's no longer becomes an issue for me. It becomes a non-issue. And as opposed to not just being an issue, it's a non-issue. Difference between not being an issue and a non-issue is that as a non-issue, as opposed to it not existing at all, it exists because you tried, but it's in my favor because I reached out to them first. And so now they have my name and they say, okay, well, just letting you know, this person reached out to us and this is their username. This is what they said to us. So thank you. They say, now, do you want to do anything with this? Do you want to take it anywhere? Would you like to do an interview? And I tell them, well, look, I'm open to an interview, but it has to be something positive and we have to do it at the right time. And I'm still waiting on another offer from somebody down the boulevard. It's all right. Well, then we'll work it out, because NBC, they're not. And then over here, we have a different, we're operating in a totally opposite sense. So, I'm not really trying to step over anybody or step on anybody's toes. So as of right now, it's like I'm giving precedence to my home community. I'm giving, precedence to the area that I live in, as opposed to letting people from another area take the reins. I'm not trying to get drugged somewhere else. I like right where I'm at. I am. Thank you. How are you? It's starting to get dark. Matter of fact, I'm going to move. I got to piss like a racehorse, which I'll take care of later. But I'm going to get myself a little more situated over here. Just so I can be in the light. So that you guys can see my face a little more. I don't want to be mistaken for anybody, especially not up here at this time of night. Oh, God forbid. Well, it's been dark there for hours. Where are you at? See, now me asking that question to you makes sense, and there's reasons why. So, I'm doing my broadcast, and if I say to comment that it's dark here for hours, and I'm talking to you about saying your comment out loud, I don't want anybody thinking that it's been dark here for hours, because it hasn't been, right? So I don't want them confused about what time it is. Maybe they're drunk, maybe they're high, maybe they're, just in the middle of something, and they're not like, oh shit, I lost track of time. Then they're out the door, down the steps outside. Maybe they go all the way to where they were going before they look at the clock and see, oh wait, I'm 3 hours early, because they know that I'm a pretty straight shooter, and I'm not gonna. I do literally have people that rely on, they'll get so tuned in the broadcast they forget what time it is. So I don't want anyone getting psyched out, Welcome from Louisiana. No, you're fine. But I'll tell you what, pro tip, those are the little things you don't think about. But it's not until it happens sometimes that you really think about it. So for me, it wasn't until someone texted me and they go, hey, douchebag, I missed my appointment because of you. I go, what are you talking about? They're like, I got so lost in your broadcast that I missed my appointment. I'm sitting here thinking to myself, I don't know how that's my fault, but I pretty much just texted him back and I go, I tell you what, thank you for watching my broadcast. If there's anything I could do for you, let me know. I'm sorry you missed your appointment. And he goes, oh, no, it's not really your fault. I was just pissed off. I'm like, okay, well, I'm here if you change your mind, I guess, And he's kind of been watching pretty much every day since. So that's nice. I just figure I'll go hood it. I'm gonna try to be like Green Arrow or whatever his name is, Arrow. Whatever happened to that guy, that Stephen Amell? Whatever happened to him? I heard he went off the grid and started being like one of them doomsday preppers. That's what somebody told me. I don't know if it's true, but I can't find anything about him recently. What's up? How are you? Welcome to the broadcast and welcome to Beagle. Oh my, you can't even see my face. What do you mean there's a violation? You can't even see my face to see if I'm smoking. Telling me, my gosh, do they catch everything, don't they? Like I said, everybody's a freaking cop nowadays. My gosh. Oh my gosh, I do. I look like a freaking bad guy, don't I? I swear I'm not. Oh man. I might take an anti-hero part, but I ain't that bad. At least I don't think I'm that bad. Doomsday preppers are crazy. They scare me, man. They scare me. I'm not about it. I'm not about it. I understand why. I get it. But, like, it's not over yet. At least I don't think it is, anyway. So I see the aurora lights, but it's cloudy where you are in New England. Bummer. Northern Lights. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I heard they're all over the place. Oh, what did I read? I read on Google today that the Northern Lights were as far south as Alabama. Can you believe that? People are seeing the aurora in Alabama. In Alabama, of all places. Just come over. Where are you at? You know where I'm at. Where are you at? After Arrow, Stephen Amell was in a wrestling drama called Heels. All right. In Venice. All right, let's see. Oh, come on now. Come on. What's the catch? 3,500 miles away. 3,500 kilometers away. How far is that? I don't know. I don't know the metric system. Seems like weather patterns and other national phenomena are so different this year. They are, oddly. I wonder why. Yeah, it says that you're like 3,500. Sure, don't understand math. So, no, it's yeah. Somebody tell me how far away is 3,500 kilometers? Because I don't know. She goes, I'm just pretty. You are pretty, but that's why I'm not buying it. I'm like, some chick in Venice wants to hang out. I'm over here all raggedy. Yeah, here's what'll happen. Not much different than what happened with this one chick. She's like, okay, so like there's people out here on the street that I'll look out for every now and again. They will not come near me if I do not have some sort of stench on me, because they are so used to being smelly that unless I smell at least like BO, they think I'm a cop and they don't come near me, and then they won't let me help them. So sometimes I might go, if I know that something's going on with somebody in particular, I might not take a shower for a day or 2 or 3 to make sure that I have a little bit of body odor on me when I go to the street and I go to meet up with them. But, she was having a little bit of an issue with that. And then she kind of asked me to leave. She's like, well, if you're not going to shower, she didn't say this exactly, but essentially what she was saying to me was, if you're not going to take a shower, you got to leave. It's all right. See you later. And I left. But, if you're going to be someone that can't be okay with me taking care of who I got to take care of and, living a little different than you, it's not my lifestyle, but it's choices I'm making right now in the space that I'm in my personal life. I'm not willing to just let people fall off the wagon. There are homeless veterans on the street, and you're telling me that you are so inconvenienced by the smell of a minimum amount of body odor that you don't care if that person lives or dies or gets the proper assistance. So I got to take a shower just because you're in a bad mood and you don't like it that day. And I'm just like, no, I'm not about it. So if you're someone that can tolerate things that you're not familiar with or used to, and you're intelligent and compassionate enough not to be laughing about it or giving me a problem about it, then yeah. But if you're going to think that I'm socially incompetent because of the choices that I make in order to be able to look out for certain people, then I don't want to be in your presence, because quite honestly, you're not somebody that is of a caliber that I would be willing to associate with, because I am socially ethical. I am socially intelligent and competent, and I don't desire to invest my time in people that are going to spend my time instead of reinvest my time. Who are you talking about there, Megan? Oh, to you. That I cooked for. I didn't even get to cook for her. Like, it didn't even. The whole thing was a farce. It was all just to make it look. The whole thing was just to make it look like I was homeless. I mean, I'm not even kidding you. Like we didn't even go to the market. We went to where she said there was going to be a market, and there wasn't a market. All she was doing was getting me to an area that there was a whole bunch of homeless people in to make it look like I was homeless. So I'm like, forget you, like she's been doing the same thing for years every week. And then all of a sudden she just forgets. No, she's trying to make me look bad. And I'm like, that was kind of, I drew the line there. But then I was like, well, she's letting me stay, that's fine. So I stuck around for the night. So no big deal. And then the morning comes and she's kind of expecting me to give her money and talking like I owe her something. And then I made it real clear. I'm like, okay, so like we never established any sort of exchanges going on here. So I want to make sure I don't owe you anything, do I? And she didn't say anything. And then I repeated myself almost a minute later. I said, now you told me that everything you're doing for me, I don't have to worry about giving you anything. Let me reestablish that, that conversation right now. And, you said I don't owe you anything. She's like, yeah, you don't. I'm like, all right, thank you. And now, had she not been so adamant on trying to double cross me, I probably would have gotten her some stuff and helped her out. But, I'm not, to be so disrespectful, absolutely not. I have no interest, Like, don't even reimburse me for saving your apartment. Don't worry about reimbursing me for saving your life. Just go on with your, like, I could have turned around and said, you owe me, and she wouldn't have been able to afford to pay me back. But I didn't. I let it go. I moved on. And it's not chivalrous or nice of me. It's just, I get mad sometimes, and so I keep my word and I don't turn back on somebody. But I have learned that when someone's going to try and turn their back on me, turn around on me, or change their mind, I back away from it and I don't get involved. I go back to being uninvolved. You think your stove's broken? Well, I'll tell you what. If you want my number, I could send you my number, or like a Snapchat or something. If you can prove to me that you exist, like you video chat with me and you show me that you're in, like you show me out the window, you show me you're in Venice. If you can prove to me that you live in Venice, then I might actually come and visit. If you really want me to, I could. I will tell you, I'm a very clever and intelligent man, and I do not recommend wasting your time. Should you ever be the type of person that would consider setting somebody up or consider wasting somebody's time. My time is very valuable, and I will treat your time with the same value as mine. Now on a personal level, I see everyone's time as being of equal value. On a professional level, my time is worth far more than most people that you will ever meet. So if I met you online or I met you in reference to my professional life, there's a professional boundary and a professional relationship. So just understand that if I come to visit you, it's a professional visit. It doesn't mean that there won't be some personal things going on, but the precedence is on the acquaintanceship, not friendship. That's nuts. So is it same with all the time? She just went nuts. As soon as I started making money, she just started getting weird with me and like trying to figure out ways to like take advantage of me, and I wasn't about it. So I just left. I mean, she asked me to leave, but then she changed her mind as I was going out the door. She's like, "No, please stay." And she was being nice about it too. Like she meant it. She really did mean it. She was like genuinely apologetic. But that's not enough for me. Like you turned on me once, well, I'll still hang out with you out on the streets, but I'm not staying with you. I can't trust you. Like God forbid you left the house and called the cops and said that there was someone in your apartment. I wouldn't have any way to prove that you had invited me over. I mean, in text maybe, but I didn't have any immediate proof to say that she had agreed to allow me to hang out while she wasn't home. So I didn't want to run the risk of being accused of breaking and entering or anything of that nature. Said Canadians are. Why do you say that? What makes you say that? And how'd you know she was an undercover? Yeah. Yeah, I almost dated one too, and then she turned out to be an undercover friggin' agent with whatever their border patrol type people are. So I didn't go for it. You dated one and you ducked. Yeah, and I'll tell you, I don't know if you remember this, and I'll tell you this with my cap down, but I'm not sure if you're aware. So like, I don't do a whole lot of repeating myself ever, and if I do, it's for very specific reasons, and it's always on purpose. I have never repeated myself and not realized it before in my entire life, and hopefully I never will. But what I will tell you, in case you guys don't realize, over about the past 20 to 30 minutes, everything we have talked about, we have already had this conversation almost to the exact word last year. And I just want to see a raise of hands if there's anybody in the comments that remembers it. All the way down to some of the usernames. Does anybody remember it? Well, that's a shame. Yeah, no, I have money. I have a job. I'm getting a better job. And I have a high school diploma, and I can fix your stove. And I don't want to stay long term. No offense. I am not looking for a girlfriend. No matter how pretty you are, no matter how successful you are, I am most definitely not looking to date. But if you are someone who has enough wherewithal that you can sleep, like if you want to sleep with me, that you're like able to sleep with me and not get yourself overly emotionally involved and not try to take control of my life, then I'm about it. But if you start like putting your foot down about what your social, like not personal, like I'll respect your personal boundaries, but if you're the type of person where your social and personal boundaries are intertwined, or your personal and your professional boundaries are intertwined, I can't do it. But if you're someone that doesn't get caught up in the social or professional being different than the person you're personal, I guess you and I would be like at some level professionally involved. But you get the point. Like if you can separate that stuff and keep proper boundaries, you don't get passive aggressive, then I can do it. Like me, I'll fake passive aggressivism, but like when I say zero fucks, I mean, I literally have, like, I might not have a backpack right now, but I usually have a backpack full of don't give a fucks. And I'm never fresh out of them. I can always find one even when I'm not carrying a backpack. Yeah, no, I don't know anything about that. Hey, I'll tell you what. I had like 3 conversations with the person with that username, and that situation was so irrelevant and like didn't even exist in my life. And there were people that like thought it was a thing. And the same thing happened back in 2021, right before everything went down. Like everybody tried to like blow this situation out of proportion where there was someone that people thought I was involved with and I literally wasn't involved with at all. And like even that comment, they're like, you talk to another human being, like you talk to another female. I'm like, I had like 3 conversations with a stranger. Like, I don't know how fast you get attached to people, but I forgot that person even existed. Barely even talked to them or got involved with them. Any of them. And neither did they get attached or involved. And like, you got people like that who get like attached and involved to like nothing, like something that like didn't even happen. They just get like attached to the possibility of a rumor because they're so obsessed with hopefully finding something. And I'll never understand that. I really will never understand the obsession. But that's why I'm trying to build out more regular fans in my fan base, because I have, I'm getting to the point where it's like a cult following and I'm really not digging it. That's why like I'm pushing to grow larger more quickly and not really get as involved with the community. And like, I'm kind of pulling back because I have people that are like getting a little too involved in my personal life and are getting a little too involved in my professional situation. They're getting a little too involved in my social life. And they're also people that don't really know much about my personal, professional, or social life. And they're just coming up with their own stories because they don't have anything to grasp to create me as a more relatable character in their environment. So like, I appreciate your fanship. I'm thankful for your followership. I am. But like, it's on me to kind of like draw that boundary and find a way to step away from people who are a little overbearing and not involved with me at all, and trying to like throw their opinion or yell their opinion at me, and assuming that like my volume or my tone have anything to do with them at all, when it doesn't have anything to do with anybody. And it is 100% me making sure that I can concentrate and think to speak to you and like get my words out to you that I'm trying to say to you. And it's like not even a conversation, you know, it's like I'm on the broadcast and you're in the comments, right? That is a creator to fan conversation. That is a me to you speech type of thing. And then engaging with the comments is a choice. There's a lot of broadcasters and creators that don't even engage in the comments. There's a lot of people who don't even talk to their fans, you know? And me personally, it's just every now and again, I have to remind people that there is a screen between us, and there is social filters between us, and there is personal and professional filters between you and I. There's a whole lot between you and I. There's degrees of separation. You're not in my life, I'm not in yours. But I invite you to be a witness to the experience of parts of my life that I choose to share with you. And then I make a personal choice to engage with you in the comments in return for your time and attention. And I'm very thankful for you. I want to make sure to draw that boundary, you know? Says, you just found me this year, I think. Awesome. Cool. Yeah, no, if you're new to me, welcome. I'm thankful to have you here. Thanks for the follow. You say he was fun to push around. Yeah, that's I'm not, like, that's red flag number one for me. I'm not about that at all. Whether he was good or bad, whether he was good for you, bad for you, whether he was a decent person or he's indecent, I don't go for the toxicity. I just can't have that poison in my life. I really can't. I honestly don't even sleep with people that are that way, even if they're like attractive. Even if I find their toxic personality attractive for some reason, I still won't get more involved with them. Someone says, they're a different person. Yeah, no, yeah. And then I had somebody that like isn't even like, just for like reasons of like professional efficacy. There's like some people that aren't even supposed to talk to me like at all. And one of those people that isn't supposed to talk to me, it's not like a legal thing. I don't have anything legal going on with the person, but there was someone that wanted to like, you know, they're like, how dare you try to send this person a phone? Why didn't you think of me or something? I'm like, I don't even know you. Like, that's on, I'm sorry to the cops, like, that you just got put on camera, but it's your own fucking fault. Like, you're literally trying to make sure that you end up in my timeline. And so when you lose your job over making sure that you flew in just the right place to sneak in and get on my camera, I didn't fail a social test. You failed a professional test, and it's not my problem. You just got the timing wrong, and you don't get to say that you got it right because you're a cop. You failed. It's not my problem. I am not being held responsible for your irresponsibility. Move on. If you want to do it twice, you're welcome to. I'll do better the second time, but I'm not covering it up for you. It's not my problem. I have my own life to live, and I'm done having you interrupt it. And that's not a shout out to cops. That's a shout out to people that refuse to stop interrupting my life. Your ex follows you on here, creepy ex-boyfriend, and you're a narcissist. That's okay. You know, everybody has something going on. Narcissism is a mental illness, and you know, I don't judge you for that. It's you who. I can't even tell you how many cats I know, or at least I'm familiar with, or know of. I mean, like, literally, at least like 50 at minimum. the amount of people that I'm familiar with who have a name that is a derivative, at least, of cat, for obvious reasons. Reasons that are no longer a conspiracy or a secret. But I'm sorry about the ex-boyfriend thing. That's sad to hear. Sometimes you just can't get rid of them. Sometimes it's pretty hard to get rid of them. I could tell you, I don't have a single ex that doesn't internet stalk me like all day long, and like sometimes they even have their kids internet stalk me. So it is what it is. You just learn to ignore it if you're able to. And if it comes to a point where you need to do something legally about it, that's what you do. But I got people here on the internet that are like screenshotting my comments in the chat when I'm like sitting there watching their broadcast. Like, I find them attractive, but I'm not like trying to pursue them or something. Like, I'm watching a broadcast, I'm enjoying a broadcast. Am I trying to build an internet relationship with them? Not a relationship in that fashion, but just like in the general sense. I mean, maybe I work with them or do a broadcast with them or something. I don't mind that. But I'm not imposing on their life, and they're acting like I'm like imposing on, like, if you don't like me, just block me. Like, I don't know why you're being weird about it. I haven't shown any behavior to anyone my entire life that would, like, even constitute the suspicion of any sort of inappropriate social behavior. I really haven't. Like, there are paranoid people out there. There's paranoid people on the internet. There's paranoid people in real life. I've had people on the internet that have been paranoid that are like thinking that I'm like bothering them or something, and I'm not, like, at all. Like, no offense, but like celebrities are not like most celebrities I don't even find worth like paying attention to, let alone being stalkerish, let alone people in like regular life. So no offense, but you might be a little on your high horse there, and maybe it's an illness, maybe that's why. But I promise you, I'm not being weird. I'm just doing my own thing. And like, usually if somebody starts with that behavior, I just like back out of the broadcast and I go do something else. Cause like, if you're going to get weird with me, I just don't really want to be around you, cause it kind of freaks me out. Oh, what am I doing? I am just sitting here talking to you, wondering why my fingers are going numb. Come on. Oh, and it turned out, so this masseuse that I went to, if you guys don't know, I got two professional massages, right? Guys, apparently she hasn't practiced her, so it was just like a date, right? Like, I went on this date, and she gave me a massage, and apparently she hasn't done what she's done in forever, and here I think I'm getting a professional massage, and she like didn't know what she was doing or something, and I could barely walk the next day. I'm like, oh, that's fantastic. So, I'm learning to be a lot more careful. I'm learning to, not just take people on their word anymore. Okay, I'm doing better now. I figured. I'm a protective person. Every now and again, I might act a little out there, trying to like get people to leave me alone and shit. But it's not just me being a dick. It's like when you got, like, I see somebody down the hill right now that is definitely doing some shady shit, out over on a sidewalk, right? And I know they're doing shady shit. So I'll be up here acting like a schizo, hoping it freaks them out and scares them off because I see the helicopters coming all around. No offense to anybody, but I don't like seeing anybody get in trouble. And with all due respect, if it was a cop that was down there, I would still try to find a way to get you to get moving if there was like a criminal down the street who was like thinking about hurting. And I know everybody protect themselves. Everybody's tough. I get it. I know. But that doesn't change that I'm still going to do anything within my power and capability to protect you, because that's just the person that I am. And if you don't like it, oh well, get used to me, because I ain't changing anytime soon. Thank you. I actually probably would make a really good undercover cop. I would make a really good one. but I'm just like, I'm not in that world. I'm not that type of person. And I not only refuse to fall into that lifestyle, but I hate the criminal lifestyle. I don't hate criminals. I hate the criminal lifestyle so much. And I'm so opposed to it just for my own personal life and my, like, where I fit in. I do not fit into the criminal lifestyle, and I'm opposed to it because of that so much that I wouldn't even for service of the community, I would not be an undercover cop because it's just so far outside of my realm of comfort or willingness to adapt to that I would never do it. And some people are like, oh, you're a wimp, or oh, you don't care about us as much as you say. I'm like, go say that to someone that's going to succumb to that, because then you'll find your guy. You'll find, or woman, or whoever. You'll find someone that is willing to do that for you. But I'm not the one. I'm the wrong one for that. Yeah, I read people pretty accurately, and usually before I even realize I'm reading them. So people often mistake that for me attempting to take control of a situation, when most times it's just me trying to mitigate, delegate, and compartmentalize so that everyone stays focused on what they're supposed to do. And that happens when, like, I'm being overwhelmed and it's kind of distracting me from focusing on what I have to do. So I'll be like, all right, so like I'm kind of just doing my own thing. Can we all go back to minding our own business? Because now you've thrown me off and you're going to have to pay for it, because, you know, like, that's how it works. It's like, I'm doing my own thing, minding my own business. I didn't distract you. You did distract me, and you cost me money. So now we got to work something out, you know? And then we usually work something out, because I oftentimes, instead of taking that route, even though it's what I actually think, I kind of just ignore the whole situation and go back to what I was doing and get myself back on track. They end up feeling bad, and they're like, all right, now I'm a dick. And I'm like, kind of, but I don't have time to hate you. I don't have time to get mad at you. I don't have time to take it out on you. And I don't have time to be a prick about it. So, like, I'm just going to move on and keep doing what I'm doing. My peace doesn't have a price, and I have a lot of peace. So, you know, I'm not going to cost myself peace for the sake of time, because to me, peace is worth more than my time. Infinitely more than my time. Internal peace. Before you think I'm so selfless, internal peace is more valuable to me than time. He says, I thought you said you had enough pizza. I don't get it. If you're socially downgrading yourself for this conversation, I'd much prefer you upgrade yourself, because I'm not coming down with you. No offense, but I'm not saving you twice. I love you. I do, but I ain't saving you twice. And we're not saving you again. Like, if you put yourself in a situation where you're at risk, I'm letting you know that I'm talking about the time that I actually saved you. I'm not going to actually save you twice. So please don't put yourself back in that situation, because I'm not going to do it again. I'm in my own life doing good, and I can't afford the interruption. With all due respect, I love you, I care about you, but I'm not your problem and you're not mine. But I'm always up for pizza. I would much prefer $100 than pizza, but if you got to borrow the money to do it, then I'd rather pizza. If you can get pizza without having to borrow money, I'll go back in time with you. We can go back and do something we used to do, and relive that experience. But if you have to borrow money to get me pizza, then don't do it. And at this point in time, it would cause less of a hassle to get me pizza than it would for you to send me cash. Because if you sent me cash, it would just mess up my whole social system thing I have going on. But if you want to order me pizza and then just say that, like, I picked up somebody else's pizza, there's already rumors about me being a thief, even though I'm not. So, like, I don't really care. I might as well get a free pizza out of it if the rumor exists already anyway. See, when you live in LA and you look like a tourist and you don't carry a backpack and you do all the stuff that people with backpacks do as far as the way that you move around, sometimes people just assume that you're a thief because, like, I look like I don't have. I think I look like I don't have money, and I don't really carry anything on me. And then every now and again, I have like some sort of expensive item visible on me. So like sometimes people just assume that I steal, or tourists will think that, and I don't. So I just got to deal. It's just what comes with it. And I could change the way that I dress, the way that I look. I could change what I carry, but I'm comfortable in a t-shirt. I'm comfortable in my weird little shirt. I'm comfortable in my pants, and I don't really care what people think. So I don't like carrying a whole bunch of stuff on me. I don't even like owning a whole bunch of stuff all that often. Honestly, even as my lifestyle increases, I will probably have like a whole bunch of stuff, but more than likely I won't even own it. Like I will probably lease most of my stuff. I will probably like borrow most of my, like if I get like fancy clothing or anything like that, it's probably going to be all like stuff that other people just didn't want anymore, or stuff that people want me to wear for the sake of the influence. Because I just don't like, at my core, I am a 1 to 2 outfit person. Realistically, like I'm literally like a 1 outfit person. Like I'll wear an outfit until I wear it out, and then I'll get another outfit, or I'll have 2 outfits and I'll just go back and forth with them until I get another outfit. And like I live that way with money and without money. It's just my lifestyle. I am like supremely minimalistic. I am a super minimalistic person with when it comes to like physical property. I just don't have a lot of value in it. I don't have a lot of interest in like owning stuff that costs me more money than it's worth. And that's just the way that I live. All right, I gotta pee so bad. All right, so we are gonna take a walk to where there are no witnesses, because I have to pee so bad. Please, for the love of God, don't give me a fine, because karma, I think, is real, and God forbid the day come where you had to pee and you didn't have anywhere to pee, that you wouldn't have to hold your bladder for a couple of days the way I used to. So, give me a minute here. I'm just gonna creep off into the darkness. Frugal is the way to go. I have to admit to you, I am frugal by nature. I'm not necessarily frugal by personality. Like in personality, I am a very expensive, very, 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 very expensive person to maintain. But I behave in a frugal fashion, I suppose you would say. What is my dream job? My dream job is to be a professional actor and maybe a model. But yeah, I would say that my dream job is being a professional actor. Lonely, thanks for three beans and the follow. And I would also like to be a believe it or not, a singer or like a musician. But give me and I really want to do that. Give me 2 seconds. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm here. I'll tell you what. What was I saying? Make sure, like, if you guys got to understand, for the people that really can't comprehend the progress that I made in my life, it's not bragging when I talk to you about it. I talk to you about it because I want to communicate to you how simple and easy it is. And for the people that actually want to do it, give you some courage and some confidence to get into it. And for the people who are already, of some appropriate, like who are already further along in their lives and their careers. And I know there are some that actually do watch my broadcast, which I'm very humbled by. I would hope that I could give you a reminder of where and what you come from, and how it once was for you, and how you could get back into it and just reestablish the person that you already are, just on the outside, because over the years, past couple especially, a lot of people have kind of gotten nervous or this or that and had to come back out and push to get their lives back where they want them to. And that's what I challenge you to do, if you are already in this environment. And then if you're someone who's trying to get out there and do what you want to do, I'll tell you, it's mostly just like hard work and learning how things work. But it's a tough process, I tell you. It really is a very tough process. It's a hard thing to do to get to this point. And even this is like, I've made it up. I've made it uphill one. Okay, I've made it a lot further than that. I'm not going to BS you guys, but like sometimes you have to be extremely patient. Like I came home to Hollywood understanding and recognizing that I may have to wait a couple of years just to start getting into what I want to get into. And I wasn't going to make that commitment until I knew what the time frame would be, and that I was willing to wait as long as I thought I would have to wait. And so when I realized that I'd be willing to live in Hollywood for the next 20 years, if it took 20 years just to get started, was when I said, okay, this is it. This is for me. And putting together the willingness to wait the rest of my life and have to work the rest of my life if I had to, just to break in to, what I want to get into, metaphorically speaking, of course, mixed with my desire to be a part of, to be in media. That was when I said, okay, well, I'm going to come here, and whatever comes to pass, and I'm going to do my best. But that's it, is like, if you're going to get into something, especially if it's a long-term pursuit that's difficult, make sure that you have everything in place for yourself, and you think of move slow enough to think about every possible angle. For example, on the East Coast, for me, I will never, on the West Coast, I'll never be incarcerated. It won't happen. I won't be arrested. I won't be incarcerated. As long as I don't go too far, not far enough, or as long as I don't lose respect, I'm fine. As long as I maintain respect, I will be okay. On the East Coast, I made sure to get myself into a position where I have the proper assurances to secure the definite probability that I will never be incarcerated, right? So that was first thing. First thing was, how do I make sure that the biggest possible waste of time is off the table? And that is incarceration. And so I made sure that that's off the table, no matter where I'm at in my country, in our country, in this country. Second was, okay, now that I know that I don't have to worry about going under, how long is it going to take me to go over? And then, so the next step was, learning about what this was going to take. And so now, with my experience on the West Coast, I am almost 100% insured to end up with a proper placement situation in a proper future based on very similar elements that I secured for myself on the East Coast, I have become safe on the West Coast to where I more than likely won't be forced into the past. I won't be forced into situations that are unhealthy or dangerous for me, and I will be propelled into my future unequivocally. I just made sure to move slow enough and, associate myself or disassociate myself properly to ensure my future and secure my present as what I want it to be. And when that gets interrupted, I usually don't see those people again. All I have to endure is the experience of the moment, and the people who take care of those types of things take care of them. And I just don't I make sure not to add fuel to the fire. That's all I do. My job is to not cause, instigate, or diffuse a problem. I just am to stay completely out of it and mind my own business. And I do my best to do that. No, I tell you the truth, I haven't been in anything. But if you live in the Hollywood area, because I don't really leave Hollywood much, ow, my gosh, come on, that hurt. If you that sucks for you. Like if somebody's got a problem, like, oh my gosh, it's not my problem. Oh my gosh, is it not my problem unless I say it is? Some people just don't get it. Like, if you're like, your problem is not my problem unless I say it is. And people are like, no, we're going to make it. No, you're not. You're going to end up with a worse problem. One that keeps you away from me. Stay away. Don't do that. Even if you're trying to help me, like, do not interrupt my thought process in such a fashion that causes me to even get nervous to the point where I arch my back and I cause myself pain. Because, like, I'm already pushing myself that hard for people that I'm at a 10 out of 10 in pain. It's ridiculous. I shouldn't be going this far for people to begin with. I'm having to, like, duck society for going this far for people. And then there are people that are telling me I'm going to give them more. And I'm like, you're already the person that owes me something to begin with. To the people that do owe me, not to the ones I've given charity to or who I've helped without asking for anything in return. It's oftentimes the people that actually owe me something that will try to pressure me into giving them something. And I'm like, our relationship started off with you pressuring me, and it's ending with you either paying me or staying away from me until you can. But like I said, if you live in the Hollywood area and you're willing to give a guy like me a chance, I have a very high social value. I am far more humble than I come off, and I really need a chance. Like, I really need an opportunity to prove myself, even once, Like, I might not know the lingo, I might not fully understand the industry, but you put some lines in my hands, you tell me about the character, and I will put myself into that character as long as I, like, know what I'm reading and know what it's about, and I will show you how I am capable of transforming into that character. Almost literally. I am that good. And given the chance, it'd be nice to be able to prove that. Instead of having movies or shows adapted that have some form to do, I'm not going to go any further. But the point is, I would like to actually be in something. And I've enjoyed my privacy. I've enjoyed, my time this way. But I would like my turn at what I was supposed to start doing from the beginning. I've enjoyed getting ahead. It's been nice. But now I'm ready to be where I'm supposed to be. Instead of being so ahead of things that I'm overwhelming myself. What are you talking about, Mags? Why you call me babe? I sing. I do. I do actually sing really well. Especially getting this tar out of my lungs. I'm actually pretty good at it. I used to sound like Justin Bieber. I'm not even kidding you. And then I had a couple of buddies, let's just call them buddies, got caused me to have a little bit more of a raspy voice, but I still have it. I can still sing. Thanks for the follow. Welcome to the broadcast. Welcome to Bigo. Would I ever sing on here? There's a lot of good ones on here. I mean, you might catch me on an off day. You might catch me just feeling myself, and like I've actually gone down the boulevard in the early morning and just started singing, just because I was in the mood. I had my headphones on. There wasn't anybody on the Walk of Fame. I was literally like the only person walking down the street, and I just started singing. And it's not like, how some people are like, man, I'm good at singing, and they have their headphones on, or man, I'm good at singing, and they just think they're good at singing. No, I really do have a voice. I just don't use it a lot. I don't use it all that often. All right. Cat from the South. Cat from the South. Katrina, Caitlin, Catherine, Karen, Kathleen, Kathy, Karina, Corinne. I don't know. I'm sorry, but it doesn't ring a bell. I could name off the top of my head about 8 different Ks, about 8 different cats, but I don't know. You were asking about yesterday with the friend. How was the massage? The massage was awful. It was painful both times, and it left me almost crippled. So I will never be doing that again. Yeah, no, it's fine. I think it's more me than her. There's a possibility that she was actually good at what she does and knew what she was doing, and my body just has so much pent up stress that when my body was releasing that stress, that it just was debilitating for me, because I'm pretty sure I do have that much stress built up. So later on in life, I'll handle it, but as for now, with how active I have to be, I just can't. But when I have like a year that I could be like less physically active, then I'll like probably go to regular physical therapy and get like intensive assistance until my body is healed up. But for now, it's just like I'm tense and I can handle it, but my body's not supposed to be like this. But it's fine for now. I can re-articulate everything and adapt into it, and I'll be just fine. But for now, I'm just dealing with being, all tense and whatnot. Crazy painful. Oh, are they supposed to be? Like I said, it could have just been me. Hey, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm thinking about blocking you, because I don't know why you're talking to me like that. I don't want to block you. I'm just asking you, maybe give me a little verbal space there. I appreciate the comments. I don't have a boo. It's like a culture thing. No, the person's calling me boo and baby and stuff like that. Sorry about the mix up. Okay, let me just do this, because if I gotta pick one, I'm gonna pick the one that's not being weird. Yeah, like I would rather talk to someone that's trying to siphon information from me than someone that's trying to cover for me, if I had to choose. I just wish I didn't have to choose between... Oh, you know what? I actually don't have to choose either. I forgot about that. I don't have to choose between the snitch and the criminal. I can just get rid of them both. Fantastic. You know what happens when you do that, though? Then all of a sudden they want you to be a cop. Yes, that's like, that's like pretty much what you got. You got two parts of society. You got cops, you got criminals. And that seems to be the gist in mainstream, lateral society. In the society that believes in equality, there seems to only be cops or criminals. And I don't necessarily agree with that mindset. I wasn't raised on it. I was raised in the real world, not necessarily the facade of social adaptation. But I can dig it. It was weeding out the snakes. I don't really go with that either, because it's like it's a very Christianized mindset when you think about it. Like, snakes in nature are the least deceptive, one of the least deceptive animals in the animal kingdom. So I don't necessarily have like a Christianized mindset. So like when people get afraid when they think of snakes, it's just like, it's an immediate yellow flag. And it's only a yellow flag because I have experience in the Christian realm. So like I understand how to handle people that are Christian, but it's kind of like handling a dangerous animal. Like if you know how to, then you could, but if you don't know how to, it's best not to bother them. So most people aren't going to try to get a bald eagle to land on their arm. But me, essentially, I am trained to be able to handle Christians. And so I don't mind. Yeah, it's an accurate statement. There's a reason why Catholicism is on the list of, domestic terrorist organizations. It's about having a level head and, a non-biased mindset. But when you have, these religions and these sects of society that are so geared and engineered towards their own thought process, they could be considered a danger to the American public. So, I was raised very one way, but then I was introduced to my country in a way that I never had been before, and I was taught a much, much healthier mindset. And so now I pretty much have like this viewpoint and this perspective where I see everything on an even plane, and it makes it much easier for me to evaluate what's, safe and what isn't, and who's safe and who isn't. And I still do believe in the notion of disagree with the, if you're going to disagree with something, disagree with the belief or the practice. Don't disagree with the person. So, I don't have a problem with people. I have a problem with the way that they're communicating their standpoint to me, if I ever have an issue. Especially if they're so adamant about their standpoint that they're like legitimately believing that I'm wrong, or like their disagreement with me is to a point where they want to change my mind. That to me is a dangerous person. Like I don't even have a desire to change anyone's mind, no matter what you believe or what you don't believe, or what you think is truth or what you don't think is truth, or feel is truth or don't feel is truth. I have my way. I do my way. And if my way is influencing you, that's between you and whatever you have going on in your head, as is for me. Where I stand in my life is about me, and it's not about you. And sometimes I do have to work very hard to help communicate to people that I'm doing my thing, and I am most definitely not doing your thing, even if you and me do the same thing. Can we do it together if we do the same thing? Maybe. Could we do it together if we don't do the same thing? Maybe. All depends on both you and I's ability to compromise, no matter where you come from or what you're about. I'll tell you what, that dude, he said about pizza, That shut him down real quick. He's like, nope, that's all right. Didn't say anything else. But that's how it is, like I'm doing good. I'm not really trying to go backwards, and I got a lot of really good people in this environment that are protecting me, looking out for me, and I'm super thankful. Sometimes they get overbearing. Sometimes I don't properly communicate my boundaries, and I am definitely working on properly communicating my boundaries. And like that is on me. Like admittedly, that is me. Like when I hurt someone's feelings, like that's on me because I didn't say it in a way that was proper or appropriate. And I am going to have to be very good at communicating properly in order to move into the lifestyle that I have to move into. I'm not there yet, but I'm definitely spending every minute of my time working on getting better at communicating. All right. Well, do you guys want me to shut down or do you want me here? Thanks for the follow. You want me here? Oh man. Thank you. I appreciate you hanging out. Thanks for the follow. Yeah, I don't know what I don't know what the story is with you there, but I will say that your profile very much looks like a fake profile. So I'd be careful. If you're someone that's trying to hide for some reason, as long as it's not a bad reason, then I'd just be very careful. Because there is somebody in my broadcast trying to use my broadcast to get to you. So stay vigilant and aware. I'm not an informant or a snitch. So if you want me to do your job, give me a job so I can do my own. But if you're not a cop trying to get that person's information, do yourself a favor and directly communicate to me why you're trying to get that person's information. And if I find it a worthy cause, I might help you. Maybe they need to be found. But as of right now, I don't have any issues having blown your whole operation if I did, because you tried to use me without my permission or consent. And you definitely didn't pay me enough just to use me like that. Okay. Thank you. Get to you? No, not you. Not you. Don't get paranoid on me. Don't be worried. I ain't talking about you. I'm talking about somebody that knows I'm talking about them. I'll tell you what, if I said that to you and you think I'm talking about you, I'm not talking about you. But if you know I'm talking about you, I'm probably talking about you. If you have narcissism and you think I'm talking about you, I ain't talking about you. Sorry about the mix-up. Yeah, you wanna find someone that's volunteering to be bait? Well, I tell you what, like seriously, I'm really serious about this. You want somebody to be your bait? Find bait. Don't think like people get so spoiled on it, like they're especially in their jobs where they're like so full of themselves. They're like that they're just gonna do it. Like this is just what we do. It doesn't matter who it is. I'm like, I'm sorry to tell you, but I'm not the guy. You need to find one. I'm not your perp, nor am I your tool. And then they'll be like, well, you'll get paid for it. I'm like, let me tell you something. I am so good at what I do that if you want me to do what you're trying to use me to do, you're going to give me a paycheck. I'm sorry to tell you, but you're going to give me a badge and a paycheck. Otherwise, find someone else. I don't care how easy it is for you because of me. No matter how easy I make your job, that's good for you. That's called an informant. I'm not an informant. I'm not a former criminal. I'm not a future criminal. I'm not a present criminal. I'm not someone that talks to the cops. I'm someone that's comfortable with and in the same community as the police. And I'm cool with that. I'm not cool with being used by people that are within the personal realm of the community that I'm in. Like, I don't exist in a professional space with law enforcement. I exist in a personal space with law enforcement. And if law enforcement wants to have professional dealings with me, then it's either going to be on paper because it's law enforcement, or, and not as an informant or anything of that nature, and you're not going to force me to do it. We've already, we know where things are with that. It's either you can offer me a job or put me in a position where I can come to you to get one, or you can stop doing this so that I don't have to, ruin your operation, because you put me in a position where you force me to ruin your operation for the sake of my own independence and the ability to stay in my own lane and mind my own business. If you're going to interrupt my personal life when you're supposed to be in my personal environment, and you're asking me to do something professional in my personal life, I will do that if I have a badge, because then I'm a cop. And at that point, what I do in my professional life does spill over into my personal life. But until I have a badge, I'm not a cop. And so it's not my job. And I'm not comfortable with having my personal and professional boundaries minced together or integrated. I'm not comfortable with that. And I'm not okay with that. I am 100% against me having to do that. So if you want me to do something for you, then assist me in moving towards getting a badge. And if you don't want me to be a police officer, then I need you to find another person to do this with, because I will continue to escort you out of my personal space, because it's, I'm an American and my property belongs to the government. You're contracted by the government. You're not the government. And I do understand the difference. And I know sometimes law enforcement doesn't like that, but I do understand the difference, and I do know my rights, and I am pro-police, but I'm not pro-abuse. So let's stay on the same page and continue to work together in a fashion and in a mindset that is fair and appropriate to everybody. If you want me to be a cop, make me a cop. If you don't want me to be a cop, then back away from me, because I'll end up becoming one just by being around you. And I'm not going to do it for free. You can give me $1,500 a month, $1,300 a month, same as I was getting at the age of 18 for what I was doing at the age of 18. You can give me that, and that's fine. But I ain't doing it for free. I'm not anybody's tool. I'm just not. When I get an education, that's different. Then I'm more than happy to allow you to do what you do. But if I'm not getting a perk from it, if I'm not getting a benefit that doesn't include, you get my point. I have my own associations and my own dealings and my own commitments to certain people and organizations. But even when that crosses over, that's still not enough for me, because I am my own man. Although I may be young, there are many people that have learned that for my age, I am quite independently capable. And I do not easily succumb to control. I succumb to authority. I appropriately submit to power. But I don't allow for anyone who isn't designated or delegated to have control over me to have control over me, unless I choose to. And when I say no, you do have to accept the word no. And when you don't accept the word no right off the bat, then the proper authorities that go beyond your government contracts do step into play. And neither you or I wants them to have anything to do with either of our lives on a personal level. So, let's keep those boundaries and respect one another and just part ways when it's appropriate. Get out when you could and when you should. Most people are out. We're out by the time my battery got to 20%. I don't have to get out till my phone gets to 11% just for kicks. But realistically, I could go all the way till my phone dies and I'll still be just fine. I could live stream for the next 3.5 days just sitting here and I'd be just fine. But, the point is, if I catch you, back out. Don't sit there and cook and get mad and try and blame me for your problems, because you went into, I'm sorry to tell you, but you went into my lane. You stepped into my life and into my atmosphere, in my life. My face is right here. My world is right here. This is my world. Okay. This isn't my world. This isn't my world. I understand that. I'm not, mentally unstable. But this, whether you understand it or not, and the powers that be do understand it because I had to teach them, this is mine. This belongs to me till the day that I die. Am I willing to contract this out in some way, shape, or form? I don't mind. Fame is fun. Money is nice. And credit is due. But I only, delegate the resources of my human person at my own personal will. I don't do it when someone tries to force me to. I don't like when people try to just snake on in there. That was a joke. Slither, which isn't a deceptive move. It's just a type of movement. But I do appreciate a good, atypical, traditional, agreed upon conversation. Because the agreements that I make with people in my professional realm are on paper. And no, you are not welcome to take a passive-aggressive stance on that, because you will end up being reprimanded by your higher authorities. And we both know that that's true, and that I am telling the truth. I don't want to be reprimanded. You don't want to be reprimanded. So let's relax and have fun. Should you decide to stay in the broadcast, let's relax and have fun. I understand your instincts. I understand the nature of your purpose and experience of this life that we live. Do your best to maintain discipline when you are in my space, in the space that I manage. Thank you. Thanks for the bean. Says, you don't think informants get... I'm pretty sure informants don't get badges. That's exactly my point. One of my best friends is a cop, and people just assume that I'm an informant, and then I debrief the cop. No, I talk to them about my life. I understand what their career is. I turn to them for help and support when I need it. And I'm not an informant. I don't talk to them about things that I don't want to talk to them about. Sometimes they go into cop mode and they ask me questions that I don't want to answer, and I put my foot down. I set that boundary. I say, hey, you're going off into that again. You're not at work right now. I say, all right. And then, they say, all right. And then that's it. So does that put a little more focus on my life? For them, it does, because that's their job. It's what they do. It's their purpose. And they can't really help themselves on that. That's just the nature of the beast. But that's my prerogative. I like spending my time with people who keep me accountable without taking it too far. And then on the opposite end, don't just leave me to do whatever I want to do, however I want to do it. because sometimes what I think I want isn't what I want, and vice versa. And pretty soon I plan to spend a whole lot less time with my friends and acquaintances. And I don't think any of them are ready for it, because I am now in a position where I am capable of taking care of myself. Mostly. There's a few things that I still need, and there's time, I want to spend time with my friends, but I am a very career driven person, and I am going to start focusing most of my time on my career. And I know that's going to draw from a lot of my friendships and acquaintanceships and associations. But once again, that's the nature of the beast that is me. I'm my own animal, and I have to feed this animal in every way. And that's going to take a lot of me focusing on just me. Thank you for the thousands and thousands and thousands of hearts. And thank you for the beans. I tell you what, I gotta tell you, in my opinion, I have the coolest life. Like, I think people who like their lives say that, they're like, I couldn't wish for a better life. I got the best life I could ever have. And some people say people will say that their life is better than than some people's. But like me, like, I am living my best life, and I have such a good life. I really do. I mean, for me, even at this point, and I'm like not anywhere near where I really want to be. And I can already say that I am so thankful for the life that I'm living. It is just the most just wild, unbelievable experience. It really is. It really is an unbelievable, out of this world experience. I'm so thankful for the life that I'm living. And I've lost a lot, and I've had to give up a lot, and I've had to sacrifice a lot. But I wouldn't trade this life for the world. I really wouldn't. And even in the times when I think I would, even then, like, it's not enough to even catch my attention for more than a couple of hours at best. So I'm doing really good. And that's part of why I'm going to be taking some time to myself, because, I don't want my past dragging me into it. And I just, there's so many needy and greedy people in my past, and I just can't be given into all that. I really can't. Like, there's so many people out there that if they can take advantage of you, they will. If they can get something out of you, they will. And I'm not about that life. I'm really not. I'm supportive of people. I believe in, being active in your community. But I just can't. I'm not, I'm not Jesus Christ. I'm not going to give up my life for other people. I'm not. So this is the part where I start to do more for me. And there's going to be a lot of people that aren't going to be all that happy about it. But there's going to be some that are going to be very supportive, who are thankfully more powerful and in greater positions of authority than the people who might otherwise try to hold me down or hold me back. So I'm going to continue to be okay. I'm going to continue to have a better life every day. And I'm very excited for where things are going and what I'm going to be doing. It's nice to finally start putting people in my life where they belong, instead of having a mismatched social life, And for anyone out there that's concerned about me, please understand, recognize, and accept that I am going to live the life I want to live. And if I am in trouble, or if I start to fall off, or I start to make unhealthy decisions, or I'm scared, or believe I'm in danger, I will come to you. You have to trust me on that. You have to trust in my ability to maintain my own mindset. I'm gonna be okay. The worst I ever was during an international pandemic. Okay? Like, it took the world falling apart for me to have a bad day. I promise you, I am okay, and I will be okay. With all that's out there, with all the temptations and the offers and all that, you do not have to worry about me giving into things that I shouldn't give into. You shouldn't have to worry about me falling. You don't have to worry about me falling off or becoming someone I'm not. All right? I got this. And I'm not going anywhere either. I'm just coming to a point where I have to maintain my own privacy and I have to start working on my own stuff. And that's going to mean here and there I might be ducking out from security, looking out. Every now and again I'm going to have to duck you, and I'm going to have to let you wonder where I went for a minute or two so I can take care of something, since it's your job to keep an eye on me. Just don't get mad at me when I do it. All right. But every now and again I'm going to have to do it, or I wouldn't be me. There's things I have to accomplish that you don't want to be a part of because it would tempt you too much to step away from your own life, and it would tempt you too much to try and do the wrong thing. Or, everybody has their limit and their capability. And I know some people they take it as an insult to say, oh, I would never. Yeah, you would never until you do. And I'm not going to I care too much about you to put you in a position where you might behave differently than you really would want to. And then you end up regretting it later after you kick the guy out, So, I got you. And then don't be worried about me. I'm going to be okay. Yeah, I'm good. I'm doing good. I could tell you right now, I have zero concerns about staying on the street. Zero. Absolute zero concerns. I am not worried about anybody or anything, and it ain't because I'm tough. It's because I have that much trust in the people out here. It doesn't mean anybody likes me or people are okay with me. It means that they are so much focused on what they're doing that they don't care what I'm doing. They don't have an interest in what I'm doing anywhere beyond if I was in trouble trying to make sure I was okay, truthfully. Because they know me as someone that looks out when people need looked out for, as long as it don't get me in trouble, and that I mind my own business. I stay out of the way. I don't snitch on them, and I also don't cause them problems, So, I'm not worried about being out here at all for those reasons whatsoever. It's just people who have never been out here that are concerned, right? People that don't understand the structure of society and how things operate and the logistical inner workings of the human mind. And I understand people to that level that I know that I'm safe out here. I don't have anything to worry about. It just appears to be a very dangerous environment. It's not one for me because I understand people, but it is a very dangerous environment for most people. If it weren't for my level of education, or at least my level of knowledge in this realm of society, then it would be very dangerous for me because I'm not built for the street. I don't fit in. But I do understand people, so it's very easy for me to just get along into the next day and continue to do my own thing. I guess that's my way of telling you is if you're someone who's thinking about going out here or someone who might end up having to be out here, do not take my example as the standard, because it's, literally my situation is a 1 in a million situation where most of the time it don't work out this way. So just don't use me as an example for how to live until I end up in a better situation. But for now, I would definitely say don't take after my example. I don't have another choice other than to be, incidentally leading people into lifestyles that they shouldn't be living. And it appears that in some way, shape, or form, I'm accidentally doing that either way. But I would rather create a better possibility of people not moving in this direction than be associating with certain people on a closer level who would most definitely move in this direction. Thanks for the 10,000 hearts. The plan for tonight is just to find somewhere to put my head down. I may stay with a buddy of mine, or I might just go out there and stay myself. And honestly, I'm thinking about just going out there and staying myself. So I'll see what happens. What I'm thinking about doing is just getting my phone charged up and then just staying up all night. But I don't know for sure yet. I'm thinking about maybe doing like a marathon broadcast and just staying up all night, buying myself like a big portable battery and just walking around the boulevard for a while, taking a seat here and there and just trying to stay awake as long as I could. And then just let myself like probably crash somewhere tomorrow, you know? Do I camp outside? I really try not to. I'm not going to lie to you. Sometimes when it has to happen, it happens. But I really don't like to. But like just the other night, somebody told me that something had gone down with them and their friends. And if I didn't stay outside, then they wouldn't have been safe. But I stayed outside, and my presence, you know, just being out there with them was enough for people to be like, all right, well, Steb's sleeping out here, so it's serious. We're not gonna mess with anybody tonight. We're going to leave it go. And then sometimes that 16, 17 hours apiece is just enough for people to rethink their priorities and realize that the fight wasn't worth it and that they're really not trying to lose a friend over things. You know, because sometimes out here, somebody will hurt somebody else. They'll hurt each other and end up taking a life. And it's like people that are hanging out with each other. And, you know, what do you do? What do you do when someone takes another person's life and then a couple hours later, they're like, oh, I like that guy. I wish I didn't kill him. Like, it don't work that way. Like, use your brain. Take 5 seconds and think about it. That's somebody that you spend time with every day. Whether you love them or hate them, they're obviously in your environment in some way, shape, and form in a capacity that you appreciate. So don't lose your cool like that. Go take a freaking walk. Do something else. I don't know what to tell you. But I can't say there haven't been times that I haven't had particular feelings. I just don't do something about it. You know, you find something else to do. Oh my gosh. It just drives me nuts sometimes. These people drive me nuts. Not literally, just figuratively. I'm just glad we're to the point where they don't tell me anything. You know, they don't tell me about what they're doing and stuff because I don't. And I keep, that's why I keep reiterating, and I made sure to circulate out into the community. Hey guys, I hang out with cops. Like, you might want to not tell me something so they don't try using me as a witness, you know? Or try using my testimony. Don't tempt them. So thank you for not telling me stuff so that I don't know, because I don't want to know. I don't want to put you in that situation. I don't know what happened in your brain to make that choice. And I'm not going to be the judge, and I shrink and I'm get put in the middle of it. Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful here. Unfortunately, where I'm at, well, not unfortunately, I mean, this is by choice for me. Where I'm at, there isn't anywhere to sleep. You can't sleep where I'm at, and that's on purpose. Like, I only came here to broadcast because it's not somewhere that I sleep. So, like, from here on in, if I stay outside, I'm really not trying to broadcast somewhere that I would sleep. You know, like, I'm not trying to tempt fate, you know? But I will tell you, I forgot to visit somebody past 3 days. Let's take Thursday or Wednesday. Oh my gosh, it's Thursday. But I'll have to go either tomorrow or next Monday to go see somebody because I had made an appointment and I totally forgot about it. But I'll try to go see them, say next week. Because I got people that are like, oh, you're not trying. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm trying my best. You don't get to say I'm not trying. Find out. They're like, well, you got your money, now you're going to run. I'm like, run where? Like, I find it so insulting and irritating. Like, the people telling me, oh, you're going to leave. You're going to take your money, you're going to leave. Like, no, you're the one that doesn't want to be here. I'm the one that actually loves Hollywood. You don't. You're here for the money. You're here for the friends. You're here for, the politics, whatever it might be. You don't want to be here the way that I am here. Like, I am here in commitment of blood. You know, like, I am here, like, on the commitment of my personal life. Like, I belong to Hollywood. You know, like literally till death do me part. This is like my wife. This area is like my home, like my forever home. So don't tell me about the money. Don't tell me about the gold, the God, the glory, and how I'm going to run off with it. I'm tied for the rest of my life to this place, more so than most people that will ever live here. So don't tell me about it, because I already know. And if you want to help me, good. Where are you at? But do not ever look at me as though I am someone that has to come to you. If I don't remember, then I wasn't supposed to. And should you try to cover it up or make a problem for me over it, the only thing that's going to happen is you are going to end up having to come and offer me the help. Doesn't matter what you document, those people will get fired. It doesn't matter what you try to cover up, those people will end up having to move. No matter what, it is going to end in you asking me if I want your help and then helping me. And I don't try to produce that situation. I do my best to come to you. I do. In reference to the housing, it is taking too long. And no, I am not getting the proper assistance. And that's that. You want to fix that? Do something about it. Stop trying to entrap me. It's getting super irritating. You're going to fail, and you're going to end up having to restructure your staff, or if you don't have to restructure your staff, you're going to end up having to re-articulate your infrastructure entirely, like revolving around me as a person, literally just long enough to get me in somewhere, because that's how tied into Hollywood I actually am, is that there are people that are getting, like, having their entire lives either uprooted or changed elsewhere because they're not doing their job here. And now they're starting to like panic and try to figure out how to cover it up. And it's so annoying. Like, just solve it. Just put me in somewhere. That's the initiative here in the county anyway. Get it done. You know, I shouldn't have to go ancient mode. I shouldn't have to sound like a schizophrenic just to get you to do something. It's super annoying. Thank you. Finally got me live. I'm doing good. How are you? You need to get me somewhere to live, anywhere to live, without me paying out of pocket in Hollywood by December 4th. Or no, I'm sorry, December 4th, 5th, 6th, by like mid-December. You have to. Someone in Hollywood has to take me in long term by December 5th. I mean, you don't have to, but like anything after that, it's my hands are off. You know, like I'm in the passenger seat. I don't have to take my hands off the wheel, but just realize that traffic is going to get a lot more difficult than you're capable of handling when when mid-December comes around. And you should say whatever you want. You know, you're going to find out just how difficult COVID was for me if I'm out here when mid-December comes around. You're going to find out just how much you misjudged my situation. Just letting you know. And I have a feeling that's going to end up happening, but I'm really hoping that it goes differently, because I don't need that retribution. With all due respect to the powers that be, and the gods of men, and the men of God, and the sons of God, I don't need it. That's fine. You know, don't take insult, but truthfully, for everyone, for the sake of everyone, just moving on more quickly. If it makes people move on, if it gets us all to move on more quickly, I don't need the retribution. I just want somewhere to live in Hollywood and to be able to move on with my life and get a job and just start doing regular stuff. You know, like, I get the God mode thing. I really do. I just I'm doing good. You know, like, maybe if we could find like a compromise, one that's like really easy and simple and doesn't have to include like all the big stuff, it would be really convenient. But like, if that's how it has to go for reasons that I don't understand, then okay, I'm on board. You know, I'm here. And I'm willing and open. I'm just really hoping I could just get a move on into the small stuff that I'm trying to do. You know, like, it would be nice just to make those accomplishments that I've been trying for like, you know how long. No, there's places here in Hollywood that aren't that expensive. Like there's places in Hollywood that are $40 a night. There's places in Hollywood that are $40 a night. There's places in Hollywood that are $650 a month. It's actually just like a really big like uh like stereotype of Hollywood to say that it's like super expensive. It's really not. Packs there's places where you can buy cigarettes in Hollywood and they cost less than they do on the East Coast, like in the middle of nowhere. So it's all about where you shop, how you shop, where you live, how you live, the choices you make. You know, if you want to go live somewhere that costs $2,200 a month, then that's what you're going to pay. But if you're willing to live in an apartment that you would live in a regular area, then you're going to pay a regular price. What will happen? Will I be okay? Yeah, I'll be just fine. I'll be just fine either way. It's not me that I'm worried about. It's all the people that proverbial, like, who metaphorically cut in front of me in society in line, who are going to get moved out of the way by the powers that be because they're now checking the cameras and finding out that, you know, you got like millions of people that cut in the social line in front of me during COVID. Well, I was busy trying to, keep the people that I love alive. A whole bunch of people just, panicked and cheated. And now it's, they're looking back at all the documentation and getting me to where I'm supposed to be, socially speak, like on a, in a social way, not like locationally, but socially. So, like, essentially my accomplishments are catching up with me, and I'm just waiting for the proper authorities to take care of all that. I know I'm talking about it like really immature, and I'm probably saying a bit too much, but I don't know what else to tell you. I'm still to that point where I have people that are trying to like burn me out to make me look crazy and all this other shit. It's just whatever. It's fine. They're still going to lose. They're living like it's still the 80s and they don't understand. So I just kind of have to sit back, get in line, and let it happen. And when they get in trouble for cutting in front of me, then I'll just keep moving along. But it's better not to pick a fight because I'll lose the fight, but I'll win the war if I sit back long enough for the authorities to do something. And they will. They have finally begun to like really take care of stuff. So I just got to let it keep happening. How do I handle the scary people? By not handling the scary people. Yeah, I've seen them using the drones. Yeah. Yeah, I suppose. Oh, maybe you should try it. See, some people understand true English and like correct grammar, um, and proper language. I'm working on it. Like I'm still learning the definitions and terminology of like to even say what I just said. So like I said, I have competency in most things. It's just now I'm like stuff that most people are raised with, like the most important stuff, I suppose, is stuff that I'm just learning now in my 30s. Am I near any famous stars on the walk? Not right now. Yeah, no. Right now, I'm up in the hills. I'm not down on the boulevard. I'm up in the. I don't know if you ever heard of the Hollywood Hills, but I'm up in the Hollywood Hills right now. I'm not like you know. You want to see Elvis' star? Maybe another night. I'll never learn. I tried. I tried so hard and got so far. And in the end, it didn't even matter. But it's okay. Hey now. You picking on my fans and be turning them to haters. You'll be making me say the word fan, and then they'll be like, I'm not a fan. I'm like, oh, okay. Sorry. Some people want me to shave this beard, but I'm really starting to love it. Like, it's grown in pretty good. I like it. I actually really am beginning to love my beard. Good. I'm not a hater. See, I'll tell you what. I got such dedicated fans that they're like undercover fans. Like, I have fans that are so dedicated that they won't even claim fanship just so that they could like look out for me. I love you. I love you all so much. But if you haven't noticed, I'm getting to a point where like I actually need some definition to my life. Like I need my fans to start like admitting that they're fans. Like, you don't got to say it in the broadcast, but just like, if you're willing to start acting like fans, those of you that are comfortable with not being like my clandestine warriors, I really need to like start getting a move on in my career. And it was really nice the other day when like 14 people recognized me and said hello. And there was literally somebody in a vehicle and in the passenger seat was like so desperate to say hi to me that they yelled my name out their car window. Like, as they were like, I don't want to say my name right now. But they're like, ah! And I'm like literally like fanboying. It was really, 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 really freaking cool. It was probably one of the coolest things I've ever experienced in my whole life. Because I'm literally like nobody and they weren't faking it. You got it. Thank you. Grow your hair out long. I will if it happens. It's tough though. My hair grows so slow. Oh man. Yeah, I miss them too. I miss them too. I just feel bad that it's like highlighting somebody for the amount of beans that they're giving. So like, trying to figure out how to X this off. Okay, there we go. Yeah, thank you for the beans. I just don't want to like, I don't want people being deprioritized just because they can't afford to send money, you know? My day was fantastic. No, I pretty much couldn't walk the whole morning, and then the afternoon, I just like walked around and live streamed with you guys for like a short time, and then I saw a friend of mine, and then I came up onto the hill, and I took a seat, and now I'm just talking to you again. And then whenever we get to a low battery, I'll probably go rest for a while. Am I single? Asking for a friend. I don't know. Am I single? Nowadays, I honestly never know. Sometimes I think I'm single and apparently I'm not. And then sometimes I don't think I'm single and apparently I am. I honestly don't. I'm not trying to be cool. I honestly don't know. Like, by my own definition, I suppose I'm single, but there are some women out there that may not agree. There's some people out there that may not agree. I ain't no big pimpin'. I have had people say to me, like, you do realize you're a pimp. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, where does that even come from? Of course I'm not a pimp. I don't even know any prostitutes. Like, how the heck am I a pimp? I mean, if anything, I suppose that as long as I'm, without paying any money, like I would, if anything, if there's anything I'd ever do, I'd be going to Vegas and being a customer. I don't think I'd ever be the pimp. I just don't really roll that way, But they're like, yeah, you're the Bigo pimp. And I'm like, I'm not a pimp. They're like, dude, you follow people, like you follow these chicks on social media. They sing your praise, like without saying your name. They're talking to the people that you send their way. And like, no offense, but you're a pimp. And I'm like, I'm not. I don't care what you say. Like, the fact is that I am not. It's not true. All right. What is true is that I am supposedly single. I suppose I'm my own pimp, I guess. I mean, I'm not a prostitute, but I do technically sit here and like verbally dance for money. I don't do it for the money, but sure is nice. Oh, we're at 10,000 fire. That's not too bad. I think the people that rank high, they're at like 60,000 fire? 60 and 70,000 fire? But we're doing pretty good, I have to admit. I've worked pretty hard to keep us, like under wraps, but the time's coming, I might even just start all my accounts over again. I know you guys would hate me if I did that, but it's like we just don't have enough followers and stuff to justify, like when I get a new phone and everything, and I could like start some actual accounts that I could have everything streamlined that I want, streamlined the way that I want it. I might start over again. And I know you guys will kill me if I do that, but if you guys start sharing and following on all my platforms and everything, I'll keep it. But right now we're at like 100 or a couple of hundred, and I'm like, we have thousands of people watching on a regular basis and millions of people watching on a quarterly basis. So like, unless we kind of like kick it into high gear, I'm just going to do whatever I want. Yeah, but the majority of people are going to be pissed about it. They're still going to come follow and talk to me and stuff, but they're going to be like, wow, like really? And I'll be like, what do you want from me? Like, you didn't even follow me until I started a new account. No. You just decided that you were going to try to figure out if I was cool enough. And then whenever I was finally cool enough, you went from watching everything and watching all my content to actually following me. Like, do you know how many people I have? Guys, you should see my social signals on Instagram. It is outrageous. I have thousands of people watching my content, really on all platforms. And then, like, most people, and it's like I have repeat viewers. I have repeat viewers. Like, it's the same people on some of the platforms. I have the same people from the same plate. Like, I've narrowed it down to in the demographics that I have a lot of the same people watching my stuff and just not subbing or not following. And they watch like all the time, or they'll watch from a recording, they'll watch from another broadcast, they'll watch a rebroadcast. And so I'll have, like, right now we got like 250 in here. I got just at minimum, I got 1,000 people watching me right now. 1,000. And they're just watching from elsewhere, waiting. They're like, well, when he's done with the street stuff, or well, when he's done with this, or when he starts that, then when he's cool enough for me, then I'll watch it, then I'll follow him. I'm like, all right, that's fine. But like, I'm not gonna forget. Like, no offense, but like when I get to your social stature, like the big people, I get that. I do understand that. That makes sense. But like, if you're like around where I'm at in full, like if your actual numbers match my real numbers, and you still think you're too cool for me, then I am probably not going to talk to you all that often when I get to the actual status that you're at. Like at that point, I'd rather stay your fan than ever be your friend, because it's just like I wouldn't even want to be professionally involved, because it's just, once again, it's the same conversation as with people in real life. But anyway, on a lighter note, I'm gonna go to bed, or at least try to find somewhere to go to bed. Wish me luck. Get some sleep. I love you, and I'll talk to you real soon. Thanks for stopping in, and thanks for all the beans. And I promise you, I am not getting rid of my beans. I have not been spending them in anyone's broadcasts. And I will keep my beans, and I will become a, whatever you call it on here, where you, thank you to everybody that's up in the thing there. Good night.